Hello there, Anthony Aries here, and thank you so much for sharing an interest in how I lost 19 pounds in 30 days. I'm excited to share this with you. Um, I want to give you a quick breakdown of what I'm going to be sharing with you here today. First and foremost, mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, there's no way you're ever going to get out of the gate and achieve your goals with your weight loss, fat loss. And then I'm going to share with you the fat loss fever system. I'm going to share with you how to eat, what to avoid for fast ass fat loss. I'm going to share some hacks with you that I use. I'm going to also share the supplements that I take. And I'm going to share how I do my exercise and also my philosophy on exercise and accountability. It's the magic driving force to you achieving your goals, aka the X factor. Okay, first and foremost, I'm not a doctor. All right, and I suggest that you seek the advice from a doctor before starting any diet or exercise program. Okay, and I'm just sharing with you what worked for me. I have no idea if this is going to work for you. I don't know where you are in your current state of health. That's why it's important for you to go talk to a doctor and, have him review what I'm sharing with you and make sure that it fits with what you're trying to do. Okay? The mindset. This is the big secret to success with any diet and exercise program is consistency and sustainability. Okay? So, you've got to going into this you've got to understand that you've got to be consistent with it and you've got to be sustainable. Whatever you're doing has got to be sustainable or it's not going to work, and I know this because I've actually been through three transformations in my life, and I hate to sit here on video and tell you this, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to have to go through this three different times, lose a tremendous amount of weight, fat, look amazing at the end. The first one, I got down to like 6, 7% body fat. I was completely ripped. And I gained it back. I started, this is back in my 20s, I started focusing on my business and my career. I put that first, and my health went to the back burner. Really dumb, stupid thing to do. I then attempted another transformation, grew a crazy long beard, put myself out in front of the world, said I couldn't shave until I lost all the weight. I lost all the weight. Um, and then I did it again. I slowly crept back up. I started focusing on work. My business took off in a different way that I didn't expect. I wasn't prepared for the growth. Put my health on the back burner again. It's sad. I'm embarrassed to sit here and share this with you, but I want to do it if it helps you, right? And I did it again. I went through another transformation. My wife had got pregnant, and I wanted to get healthy, and I didn't lose all the weight that I wanted, but I lost a significant amount. I completely changed my body composition. I put on a lot of muscle mass, and I put on the weight back on again. She got pregnant. I put baby weight on with her. It was hard for me to say no to the meals that she wanted to eat. So here we are again today, my fourth attempt. And the thing about me, if you know me or if you've ever dealt with me, is that I do not give up. You can knock me down and knock me down and knock me down, and I just keep getting up. I'm too dumb to know when to quit. And I believe that's why I've been very successful in my business and in other aspects of my life, is because I just don't quit. I do not quit. When I was a kid, I grew up in a really rough neighborhood, in an Irish neighborhood. I was the only Portuguese kid. I used to get my butt kicked all the time, and I got back up every single time, and I stood my ground, and that's just how I am. So I'm definitely not the guy you want to get into a knife fight with in a back alley, because I'm gonna keep coming at you. Um, anyways, so half the battle. This is one thing that I realized through all these transformations I've been through. Half the battle is losing the fat and weight, and the other half is keeping it off. It's been a big realization for me. It's actually a huge part of it is keeping it off. And to be able to do that, you got to have sustainability in whatever it is, whatever diet program you're following, whatever it is that you're doing. There has to be sustainability, because this isn't just for now. This is forever. You have to be able to do this forever, okay? Because this yo-yo shit sucks. Therefore, your plan and mindset has to be, one that you can do for the rest of your life. You don't want to end up being a yo-yo like me. It sucks. I hate it. I hate that I have to go through this again. However, this time around, my big goal is to help as many people as I can along my journey and share this information with you. And I'm not charging for this information. Doing without sucks. It does. It completely sucks. I'm the kind of person that the minute you tell me I can't have something, especially a certain type of food, I want it. I can't stop thinking about it. I dream about it. I hunt it down, and then I pig out on it. And then hence, this is why I've put all my weight back on. Sadly, food addiction is one of the worst addictions that we have right now in our country, and it's a real challenge to overcome because it's everywhere. It's on TV, it's in billboards, driving along. Think about all the restaurants that you drive by on your way to wherever it is you're going. It's insane, right? How it's just amazing food is just so readily and easily available to us. It's hard to resist it, right? It's not easy. And the big challenge too with food today is that it's processed to death. I mean, someone I think it's Chris Winters, someone who has inspired me to get back on track, and someone who I admire tremendously, and calls it Franken meats or whatever. Like stuff is so processed, it's like Frankenstein, which is crazy. And food today is also loaded with tons of neurotoxins that are addictive and cause impossible to resist cravings. They're impossible to resist. So the way that I look at it is, doing without sucks. So why fight not having it? It hasn't worked for me. I have a hard time with fighting it. So what I've decided to do this time around now is to just control the amount that I do have. Right? So don't pig out on it anymore. And the mindset needs to be like this: since I can have this again, and I can pretty much have it when I want, then I'm just going to control the amount that I do have and have a reasonable portion. Okay? And that really does change your outlook on dieting, because it's like now, it's like that you can have it again, so it doesn't bother you as much, and it's easy to control your portions if you realize that you can have it again, right? So you just need to, constantly be talking to yourself in your head about that, saying like, you know what, there's no need for me to hog out on this whole pizza. It's not necessary. If I save this pizza, right, I can have some more of it tomorrow. I don't need to have it all today. I can have some more of it tomorrow if I save it all, right? And it's not going to go away. And there are things that you can do to help stave off hunger and cravings. And we'll talk about some of those hacks. And we're so good. We're like our best liars, right? We are. We can justify anything. So why not justify controlling the amount that you eat? Since you're going to have it again, right? This will keep you out of trouble. I've also realized too that a weird paradox that occurs. This being my fourth transformation, I believe the reason I'm having so much fast success this time is because I'm not in a hurry to lose the weight like I was before. Like the last transformation I did, I was in a contest with bodybuilding.com, and I was up against other people, and I had only 12 weeks to do it. I can't even begin to tell you how much stress that caused. It was awesome being in a contest, but it also caused a lot of stress, especially when I plateaued. And so this time I decided I'm not going to be in a hurry. That's the first thing, and that's remove the stress of losing weight. And I've also have realized that I'm just going to take the sustainable actions that I need to take. And what's happened is that the weight has come off super fast, like 19 pounds in 30 days. It's just, I was actually shocked. And what's interesting is there's this thing called the whoosh effect that happens with your weight loss, where the first couple weeks it was like slow, and I was starting to get discouraged, like we all do. And then it was like boom, it was like the third week a tremendous amount came off, and then the fourth week another huge amount of weight just came right off, just crazy. So and I haven't been in a hurry, you know. So you know, one thing that you want to do too is you don't want to get on the scale every day. You really just want to do it once a week. And like, so how I do it is I do it every Wednesday in the morning, after I have my bowel movements, on an empty stomach. I jump on the scale with no clothes on. I know, sight to be seen, and then I take my weight, and then I go on a calendar and I mark it down, and then I do it every Wednesday so that I know, you know, where I'm at, it's discouraging at first because it doesn't seem like anything is happening, but you have to understand that, you know, you're changing things, and it's going to take a while for those changes to take effect in your body. So you kind of don't want to go by the scale the first few weeks. One of the other things that's also really important that I've realized too is loving the process that I'm going through. Like, I never really liked the process before, but like now I've got something that works for me, and I actually enjoy the process because I know I can. Hasn't These last 4 weeks have been effortless for me. They have not been hard at all, and so therefore I love the process. And what's really awesome about that, you know, if you're consistent and you love the process, you've already essentially won. You have. And that's what I've realized. And what's really amazing about that is that I'm going to achieve my goal, right? And the only thing that's keeping me from achieving that goal is time, right? Because I love the process, so therefore I'm going to achieve the goal. The only thing that's keeping me from achieving the goal right away is obviously time, right? And I'm taking time out of the equation. I'm not worried about how long it's going to take me anymore because I'm just going to focus on loving the process. And just having that huge shift in my mindset has helped me so much, because it's just taken stress out, and I really love how I'm doing this, and it's not hard. It's really, really easy to do. And you know, I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but this is really important. This is from a guy who's had 3 transformations in his life and has struggled with weight his whole life. So really take this to heart. It's no joke. And I've tried all the diets. I've tried the 5 to 6 meals a day, eating every 2.5 hours. I've tried the low carb, high protein diet, the vegetarian diet. I've tried juicing. I've tried smoothies. So I've got the experience, you know. I've tried a whole bunch of stuff, and I know what has worked for me and what hasn't for me. And here's what hasn't worked about any of these. I can't sustain them. As soon as I'm done with them and I achieve my goal, I go back to eating the stuff that I love, and I binge eat, and I gain the weight back. I lose control, right? None of that stuff's worked for me. I'm guessing you may have the same experience. And therefore, it's important to, you know, eat what you want to eat, and not do without, and just figure out how to make that work into your lifestyle and into your diet. So I'm going to share that with you in a second. The big realization for me too is that losing weight is really math. That's something that I realized. I hadn't even realized it. I sort of realized it the last transformation that I did, but I really realized it after the last transformation I did, because the guy that ended up winning that bodybuilding.com transformation, he was an engineer by trade, and he broke down how he won, and he had basically broken the whole thing down into being math, and I never saw it that way. And after I realized what he had done, a light went off in my head. Now, what you need to do, and I'm going to make another video on this that I'll send to you. That's one of the reasons why I wanted you to give me your email addresses. I can't put all this information in one video. I'm going to lose you after a certain amount of time. I'm going to lose your attention. So I'm just going to give you this, and then we'll go into this more in detail in another video. Essentially, you need to know what your BMR is. A lot of people don't even know what that is. I didn't even know what that was until after I read the guy who won the bodybuilding.com transformation contest, is when I realized what that was. It's crazy too that I didn't know that. After all the transformations I've done before, I should have known that. But so BMR stands for basal metabolic rate, and it's how many calories your body burns without doing exercise. You need to know that number. That's an important number to know. So for me, based on my height, weight, and age, it's 2,200 calories per day is how much my body burns in calories without me doing any exercise. For bodily functions like for your brain to work, for your heart to work, and pump the blood through your body. That's how many calories I burn per day. So you got to know that number. And then you need to be in a caloric deficit. You have to be in a caloric deficit. So how do you do that with all the amazing food temptations we face every day? I mean, if you go to a restaurant, I could easily put away 4,000 calories in one sitting at a restaurant, which is crazy when you think about that. And in the other video I make for you, I'll explain how to overcome that, because there's actually a way to use your survival instinct to overcome doing that, and it happens naturally. You don't even have to force it, which is what's amazing. So, and I'll explain that in another video that I'll make for you. So how do you do that with all the amazing food temptations we face every day? So in the Facebook post that you may have read that got you here, or in the subject line to the webpage that you entered your email address, I told you that I lost this 19 pounds in 30 days and I still ate what I wanted for dinner and I still had dessert every day. What I didn't say was, and I didn't lie because I did do that stuff. What I didn't tell you was how much of it I ate, right? I never said I ate huge portions of what I wanted, huge portions of desserts. I never told you that, right? So I just want to clarify that, because that's the key to this thing, is controlling your portions. Now, what if you do want big portions or need to eat big portions to feel satisfied? Listen, I get that more than anybody, right? So, and I'm going to show you how to overcome that. Here's how I do it. My eating window is from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay? Yours can be different. Yours can be from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., right? The biggest key is that you got to have 16 hours from the last time you eat till the next time you eat, because you put your body into a situation where your insulin gets low, your blood sugar gets low, and your body starts to dip into your fat for energy. A lot of people think it starts to dip into your muscle for energy, and that's not necessarily true. The only time it dips into muscle for energy is like when you are like putting your body through tremendous amount of weight training. So what I do is I eat a very small meal at 1 p.m. and then I eat another smaller meal at 5 p.m. and then my last big portion is at 8 p.m. and then I have dessert at 9 p.m. Okay? And so from 9 p.m. to 1 p.m. the next day I fast for 16 hours, which isn't hard because 8 of those hours I'm sleeping. Okay? You got to do what window works for you. For me, it's really, really easy for me to skip breakfast. I like to eat late at night. I have a big problem with that. I've tried to eat early in the day and stop. I've tried the 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. window. It doesn't work for me. I like to work out on an empty stomach. I like to skip breakfast. If I eat breakfast, a big breakfast in the morning, I'm crap all day. I don't feel like doing anything. I can't function properly. I'm not productive. So for me, I'm light on my feet. I get stuff done when I don't eat a big breakfast. So for me, I skip breakfast. And you're probably like, but everyone says you shouldn't skip breakfast, and we're going to cover that in a second. So you need to do whichever one works for you. Like for my wife, she doesn't like to eat late at night. She hates it. She hates going to bed with a full stomach. She can't sleep well. So her window is 8 to 4. That's what her window is, or 8 to 5. We'll eat one meal together. But she likes to start early and end early. And so she doesn't have a problem not eating late at night. So you have to do what works for you, right? So for me, I can do this every day. It's easy for me. And your window, like I said, can be different times as long as you try to fast for 16 hours. The key is that 16-hour window, you really start to dip into your fat for energy, which is the key. But Anthony, they say we should never skip breakfast. They say if you don't eat 6 meals, our metabolism is going to slow down. They say if we don't consume enough protein and calories, we're going to lose muscle mass. They say. Listen, I know all about it. There's so much info out there from different sources and different people that they're confusing us, and it's like we don't know what to do. Well, I'm going to tell you something. They're wrong. They're wrong. And there's plenty of scientific results and studies that say that they're wrong. The thing that you don't realize is that they omit information from those scientific studies, and they take out what they need and they manipulate it in their favor. So instead of me spending a ton of time going through the science, You can do it yourself by visiting this domain. Go to fatlossfever.com/fasting. Just go to that URL, and you're going to read about 10 myths, 10 weight loss myths, and you need to read every single one of them. They're all we debunk. They're debunked. It's not us that does it. We found this information, and it actually cites all the science and medical journals and all that. You can get hot and heavy with it, and you'll be blown away. You will be completely blown away by what you read. You'll be quite surprised what the food and supplement industry leave out of the science research and manipulate the information to their benefit. The most important thing to understand that this really does work, just think 10,000 years ago when we were running around, okay, and we didn't have McDonald's, and we didn't have Chili's, and we didn't have all these amazing food restaurants that we have today, Cheesecake Factory and P.F. Chang's and all this awesome stuff that we didn't have, that we could just roll right in. And we just roll right in now, and we take out our wallet and we sit down, and they prepare our food for us, and we eat, right? None of that stuff existed 10,000 years ago. 10,000 years ago, we got up, we ran around like crazy, hunting for our food almost all day long, okay? We finally get our food, we hunt it, we bring it back home, we cook it, and we have a big feast, right? And then we go to bed, and we do it all over again. So most of the time, we were only eating a big meal in the evening. One of the cool things about eating a big meal in the evening, too, is you go into I'm sure you've heard of it, your food coma, right? You get a food coma, you get all tired. It's the best sleep you'll ever have, right? When you have a big meal at lunch and you go into a food coma and you try to go back to work, it's no bueno. But having a big meal in the evening and then going into a food coma, it's bueno. You're going to go to bed and sleep like a baby, okay? So just think 10,000 years ago. It's common sense. Like, humans are made to not eat a lot of food. Our bodies are actually set up to go through fasting states. When you read the 10 myths debunked, you'll be blown away. I mean, the science doesn't lie. It's what they left out and how they manipulated the information. That's where the lies are. So just think, whenever you're in doubt, just think 10,000 years ago, how did we survive, The supplement industry and food industry didn't exist, so how did we do it, all right, so the big idea, because I keep my first 2 meal calories very low, around 150 to 300 calories per meal. So if you think about it, like most of the time I do 150 calories for my 1 p.m. meal and then 150 calories for my 5 p.m. meal. That's only 300 calories. So then that means that my dinner can be like 1,300 to 1,600 calories. If I do 1,300 to 1,600 calories and I still work out, my workouts, I usually burn about 1,000 calories a day. I've got a nice deficit going on. And again, I'll talk more about how, like, the math in another video, but that's the key, right? So then I can have a really big meal, a really big portion of what I want for dinner, and then I have a very small dessert. And the kind of desserts that I have now, like, I've even shifted my the kinds of desserts that I have now. I focus on trying to have like low sugar desserts, high protein desserts, like Greek yogurt mixed in with a scoop of really flavorful protein powder, and I'll like take a couple of graham crackers and crunch them up. They don't have a lot of calories. I'll put them in there. I'll use coconut whipped cream. It tastes amazing for me. It may not taste amazing at first because your taste buds are all messed up from the neurotoxins and stuff that you're eating. But after a few weeks, it's actually pretty cool because you start to enjoy those kinds of desserts. They're delicious and they make you feel like 8 ounces of Greek yogurt. If I mix it in with the right protein or fruit or whatever, I will be more satisfied from that dessert than if I eat a couple of scoops of ice cream. Okay, so my diet and coach, my diet mentor and coach, a guy by the name of Dr. Raj, who's a genius, who's helped me with a lot of stuff. Also suggests coconut ice cream is really good. Coconut yogurt's really good. Put unsweetened coconut flakes. I haven't tried that yet, but I'm going to try it with mixed almonds in there. Um, Unsalted, of course, is really good. And what happens is at first it's a little bit tough because you got to change your taste buds, but it then becomes the stuff becomes delicious. Dark chocolate. Um, so the key is my portion for dinner is big, but it's also strategic in macros and how I make up my plate. Keep in mind, not all calories are the same. It's important that you know that. You don't get the same nutrition from a 300 calorie piece of cake as you do from a portion of chicken, sweet potato, and broccoli that also comes out to around 300 calories. Right? One is junk, the other will actually fuel your body, your brain, and your blood cells. So I'm not saying to not have the cake. I'm just saying to be aware of the concept that not all calories are the same. Okay, and I do have a cheat day once a week. I didn't mention that in this presentation. The most important thing about my cheat day, this is how I used to do my cheat days, and I was doing them all wrong. My sister was the one that taught me this, the right way to do it. So when I would do my cheat days, I would actually take a day off from the gym and working out, and then I would go have my cheat day, and I'd have this huge, caloric day, like 7,000 calories in a day. But I didn't work out. So what my sister taught me since she's been here, my sister's actually been with us for a little bit. What she's taught me is that what you want to do is on your cheat day, you want that to be your biggest workout day. So like legs is usually your biggest workout day because legs make up 2/3 of all the muscles in your body. And if you really beat the crap out of your legs, that's your biggest workout day. That's the day that like you are the most thermogenic. Your body's like, you have a lot of what's called afterburn. So after you're done working out, your body's burning calories all day because it's repairing those muscles, and you use the 2/3 of the muscles in your body. So that's the best day to have your cheat day, and that's what we do. So we go in the morning, and we just kill ourselves in the gym on legs, and then we just have our cheat day the rest of the day. And then that again goes with the philosophy of not doing without. Not doing without, right? You don't want to do without. So what does that look like? So just to give you an idea of my portions, my big dinner portions are usually made up of 60 to 70% vegetables, that combined with low glycemic starches like sweet potato or whole wheat gluten-free pasta or short grain brown rice or yams. I'm going to start implementing yams. Dr. Raj, my diet coach and mentor, I actually went to a doctor that really understands what the heck was going on with my body. I did blood panels on my body, and we took urine samples to see what kind of toxins and metals I had in my body. I was completely shocked. I've never had anyone analyze my blood like that before. The man has an amazing program. And anyways, he recommends that I start consuming yams. They're the lowest in glycemic levels, and they give you the most sustainable energy. So I'm going to implement those in my diet moving forward. But this is the most important part of your plate. With a low-carb diet, what sucks about it is you never feel satisfied. And so what's great about, adding this stuff into your diet is that it makes you feel full. It makes you feel satisfied, especially when you have it in the evening right before bed. You go into that awesome like food coma feeling and you sleep so good. I can't even begin to tell you how you sleep. And you can actually lose fat fast if you consume these types of carbs. Okay. My protein portion is usually like 25%. I usually eat ground turkey, free-range organic chicken or grass-fed beef, and wild fish. No farm-raised fish or any of that stuff. Dr. Raj also told me last night to start avoiding pork, which I never eat anyways. I don't really care for pork. And he said no shellfish because it's just a dirty animal. And it's just not a good thing to eat all the time. So he didn't say for me to eliminate it completely, but he said once I hit my weight loss goal, I can start to bring it back into my diet. But I'm thinking I'm probably just going to cut it out. I may have shrimp when I go out to eat or something like that, but I love shrimp too. But I mean, after some of the stuff he shared with me about it, I'm just not interested. And so that's my protein portion. And then my fat is usually 5%. And that comes from avocados or coconut oil. My diet mentor also recommended for me to start eating olives. So So that's something I'm going to implement as well. Black olives, green olives, doesn't matter. They have really great fat in them. Okay. Um, and now what to avoid for fast fat loss. One thing I did not put on here is sodium. Uh, we should only be intaking about 1,000, I believe it's 1,000 milligrams of sodium per day. If you start paying attention to how much sodium you are consuming, you will be completely blown away. I was in the 5, 6, 7,000 range per day. So I was eating 5 times, sometimes even 10 times more sodium than I was supposed to be eating. And it was causing a lot of inflammation in my body. So, um, uh, the other big thing to avoid, and this has been really hard for me because this is my biggest struggle because my wife and I are foodies and my wife does not cook. Um, and I'm always working and it's just hard to meal prep. And we love going out to eat, not just because of the food, but because of the experience. Like we work from home and, well, I work from an office now, but I mean, we work so much that it's like we're so isolated from the world because we're home-based entrepreneurs, we have our own businesses, that we love going out to eat. We love the energy of the restaurant. We love the experience. And yes, this is really hard for us. Well, my sister, we would normally go out to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So that stopped about 45 days ago when my sister came into town. She put the kibosh on that. Because, what she basically explained to us is you just don't know what they're putting in your food. Even though you may think it's healthy, how they spice their food. And what's crazy is a lot of the restaurants don't even know that this is happening. The restaurant owners or whatever, they don't even know that this is happening because they order their food and it comes already, a lot of it prepared and it's already spiced up. And you'll be surprised to find out that MSG is not just in Chinese restaurants. It's actually in almost all the food that restaurants serve. And it's a dangerous, dangerous neurotoxin that's very addictive and messes up your fat burning hormones really, really bad. Messes up your thyroid and all the things that help you, all the hormones that come to play that make you a fat burning machine. So I haven't gone out to eat in a long time. And it's a challenge. I actually went out to eat, forgive me for saying that, I went out to eat last week. I was at a mastermind in Miami, so I went out to eat then. But prior to that, it's been a long time. It's been about 3 weeks before that, or whenever she came into town. It was about 30 days, and then we went out to that mastermind and I'm traveling again this coming week here, and it's going to be tough. I know there's going to be catered food, so I'm probably, my diet's been so clean. I knew that this was coming up. My diet's been so clean, so I'm just going to go out to eat and deal with it. And I'm going to try to make really good food choices. So we stopped going out to eat. It was tough at first, but now it's not. And we love cooking and we love eating at home. We actually make it fun. We all get together and do it. Or if I can't because I've got a webinar or something going on, they get together and do it and they make it fun. If you can't stop going out to eat, at least limit the amount of times you do it. I would recommend that you do that. That's what my sister said. And she's a certified nutritionist, by the way. So this is coming from someone who knows what's going on. Or if you do go out to eat, try to focus on ordering extra veggies. Start with a big salad. Don't get an appetizer. Start with a huge salad if you can. Like, how they'll have the salads as meals? Actually order a salad as a meal and eat that first. And then if you want an app, you won't have as much, have maybe a little bit of the app. Swap out the white rice for brown rice. Swap out regular potatoes for sweet potatoes. Don't eat fried foods. Do not eat fried foods. I love fried foods, but when I saw what they do to your arteries, do not eat fried foods. So cut the fries out, focus on boiled potatoes. Little changes like that can make a huge difference. Huge, huge difference. So let's talk about some hacks. The biggest hack is to have big portions of vegetables. They have the lowest calories, and they're going to make you feel the fullest. And what you want to do is eat those first. Because when you do, you line your stomach with fiber, which regulates your blood sugar and keeps your insulin from spiking, which is the hormone that decides whether or not to burn fat or store it. And I'm also going to share with you another awesome hack that this is how I stave off hunger, but I'm going to do that in the supplement section. So this is a hormone that decides whether or not to burn fat or store it. So what you want to do is line your stomach up with fiber before you eat, because it's going to absorb all of the crappy stuff that you do eat. Okay, so you always want to try to do that first. You want to drink a huge glass of water, a minimum of 16 ounces when you get right out of bed in the morning. I actually drink 24 ounces right when I get up out of bed in the morning. And you want to add freshly squeezed lemons. And if you can, get your hands on some Himalayan pink salt and put a dash of that in the water. Dr. Raj shared that with me recently, and he says it's really, really good. It really gets things moving, gets the bowels moving. After your huge glass of water, ideally after your bowel movement, have some black coffee, no sugar, no cream. I know that's hard for me. It was hard for me, but here's what's happened. I actually have now learned to love black coffee over the other way. It's like I really get the robustness and the flavor out of the coffee. It took me a little while to get used to it, I'm not going to lie, and it was hard to do, but I actually like it better now. It seems less acidic, and it doesn't bother my stomach like it used to. And then green tea. This will really, both one of these, the black hunger or the black coffee or the green tea, will help fight off morning hunger pains. So that's what I do to help fight off my morning hunger pains, because I'm not eating till 1, right? So for me, it helps, and it gives me a burst of energy. I've also found that green tea to be the best appetite suppressant. It's better for me, I found, than the coffee. And it also helps stimulate the fat burning process more than coffee. I actually drink green tea with goji berry and pomegranate. There's a brand out there that has it. I think it's seasonal something seasonings or whatever. I forget what it's called. And I do it because it has extra oxidants and it gives the tea a really nice flavor. For max fat burn, you want to work out in the morning on an empty stomach right after your tea or coffee. And then when you get back from working out, have more tea and coffee to keep the hunger away, right? And just flush your system. Tea and coffee are also diuretics, so it just flushes all the bad sodium and stuff out of your system. So now let's cover supplements. We're going to go over supplements, okay? Hey, what's going on? Anthony Aries here. So I'm standing up now. We're going to go over these supplements. I told you about green tea. Starbucks has a fantastic green tea too. When I don't have any of my pomegranate one brewed, I just drink this, no sugar. It's delicious. It goes down really easy. I drink a big one too, so constantly drinking this. Dr. Raj has suggested that I go from coffee to green tea, and like I said, it actually fights my hunger better than the coffee does. So drinking a lot of this, and it activates your fat burning a lot more than the coffee does. So really important. Another thing I do right when I get up, after I have my water, is I drink this. It's called Green Vibrance. And I drink a packet of this in the morning. As you can see, it's got 25 billion probiotics and helps with circulation, digestion, immunity, and nutrition. One of the most important things that I've learned from Dr. Raj is that your gut, what's going on inside your stomach, is about 80% of what's going on with your health and your immune system. And you got to fix your gut. If you don't fix your gut, you're not going to lose weight. There's a lot of crazy things going on in there. Food being like one of the things that I realize is I don't have enough acid. That's why I have acid reflux. And so Dr. Raj says that's like we have food in our bellies that's rotting. It's crazy. So I didn't know that. So I eat these probiotics to help. This is good bacteria to help fight all the bad bacteria in my stomach. So I'll have this in the morning. In the beginning, it's not easy to take it. I'm not going to lie, but actually what ends up happening after you have this a few times, it actually becomes enjoyable. I don't mix it with a lot of water. It's easy to shoot. Sometimes, like I've gotten so used to it, sometimes I do drink it with a lot of water. It's not a big deal. I actually enjoy how it tastes. If you squeeze a lemon in there, it helps with the flavor of it. It makes it taste better. So I have this right after I have the big glass of water in the morning. Okay, and then I'll sometimes have it before I go to bed too. Like sometimes I'll have it twice a day. Okay, and then before I go to the gym, I have branched chain amino acids. from BPI. I found that this is the best tasting one. It's watermelon flavor. Love this flavor. It tastes like a delicious fruit punch. I'll have a scoop of this before I work out, and then I have a scoop after. What this does is this maintains your muscle mass, especially when you're on an empty stomach. And, you know, I said that if you work out really rigorously, and you can burn your muscle if you work out rigorously and you don't have enough calories or protein. And so what this does is this prevents muscles from getting used as energy. So the only thing that sucks about this is that it's got sucralose in it, which is Splenda, and that's not really great for us. But right now I'm just focusing on the lesser of two evils, and I'm just taking this right now, and I'm going to figure out another solution for this later. I'm not a big fan of taking Splenda or sucralose. It's really, really bad for us. It does mess up our hormones. But unfortunately, in the supplement industry, there is not a lot of choices for branched-chain amino acids that don't have Splenda. So my sister and I are working on creating a line that tastes good and doesn't have Splenda. Okay, so that's one of the things that I do. Okay, so how am I able to keep my hunger away for so long until dinner time, you know, especially with these small calorie meals? And some of the people I've talked to about this, like my good friend John Donges, who works for Dave Sprague, says that he'll go all day without eating, and then he sits down to eat, and he has this huge meal because he's so hungry, and he makes all these bad food choices. And I know where John's coming from because I did that too, and especially with the way our businesses work, I get that. So how I've done this, and I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. I got this idea from Joel Therion. Joel Therion. I hope I'm saying it right, Joel. Forgive me if I'm butchering your name. Joel owns a product called 7-Minute Workout or 7-Minute Weight Loss, and he shared with me that he has fiber in like when he starts his day. Now, I'm not talking about vegetable fiber. I'm talking about this kind of fiber right here. Console. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe I'll shut this light. Oh, there you go. Whoop. Console fiber. You can get this at CVS, Walgreens, okay? And you take a tablespoon. Here's what's wild about this. Now, this stuff does not taste great, but it actually doesn't have a taste. It's very neutral. But what I've done, I figured out a hack for it, is I just take a tablespoon of this and then a tablespoon of my favorite tasting protein, and I mix it up in there, and then I have it at lunch. So that puts my calories at lunch at around 150 calories with a tablespoon of this and a scoop of really high quality protein, right? Now, here is I mixed it up for you so that you can see what happens. This is what it looks like, okay? And this is just water and the console, okay? Now, I put a knife in here. Look at this. Do you see that? You can see right there, right? I don't know if you can see that. The knife is in there, right? If I can take the knife out, I put it back in. It's like a gel, and it actually sticks. Okay, this is the big hack. This is another really big hack. What this does is you drink this, it coats your digestive tract and your stomach, and it turns into this gel. Okay, and then when you eat, when you eat, it regulates your blood sugar. The sugar from the food that you eat, the sodium from the food that you eat, it doesn't hit your bloodstream immediately. It gets absorbed by this stuff, okay? And then it helps regulate your blood sugar, which is the insulin, and it's the hormone that regulates you burning fat. So this has been a tremendous help, and what this does too is it makes you feel very satisfied, and it staves off the hunger longer, okay? Now, there are times when I'm really hungry at noon. So when I'm really, really hungry at noon, what I'll do is I'll make like a big omelet with a lot of egg whites, and I'll do 3 eggs, and I'll put some veggies in there, and it'll come out to about 300 calories if I do that, if I'm like really hungry after a really big workout. And keep in mind, for every gram of protein you consume, your body has to burn 3 to 4 calories to digest it. So what's great about protein is it's very thermogenic, so if I was to eat like 60 grams of protein with that omelet, my body's going to burn anywhere from 3 to 4 calories. So it's going to burn about 120 calories just from eating that omelet, right? So that helps put me into deficit, right? Into calorie deficit. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. This has been huge for me. Now, a couple tips on this is when you do take this the first time, it's going to hurt your tummy when you're not used to it. It does hurt your stomach a little bit because there's going to be some gas, and you definitely want to make sure that you have a bathroom readily and easily available to you. You're going to have bowel movements like you've never had in your life. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to clear out a lot of stuff. So definitely good. And then the other big thing is this protein right here. Now, like I said earlier, I'm not into the Splenda, and it's really hard to find protein that does not have Splenda in it or aspartame. But we finally found one after much research. My sister finally found one, and it's Lean Body for Her, right? And just ignore the for her part. This does not have any gluten, no artificial sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. And this is Jamie Eason. She's actually a pretty big bodybuilding girl, woman, whatever you want to call her. And what happened is, I'm assuming what happened is she got pregnant and had a baby, and she couldn't find any protein that didn't have any junk in it. And so she created her own, which is awesome. And this stuff is the ingredients are minimal. It's just got whey protein isolate, sunflower oil, Dutch cocoa, calcium caseinate, inulin, which is through chicory root, which is a fiber, organic cane sugar, natural flavors, xanthan gum, sea salt, and monk fruit extract. So if you compare this protein label to another protein label, you'll be amazed at the difference. This is the most natural, great tasting protein that I have found to date. I'll mix a scoop of this in a scoop of this for lunch, and then I'll do it again at 5. If I'm like starting to get hungry, I'll have an apple. Apple has also a lot of fiber. It fills you up. It's all about manipulation, like manipulating your calories, things that are low in calories that are going to make you feel full and satisfied and hold you off till you can have your big portion at dinner. By the time you get to dinner, you may be hungry, but you're not going to be as hungry as you would if you starved all day. And you just need to be conscious and have your portions out and ready to go, and you'll be good to go. You won't have any issues. It may take a little while to get used to it, and if you fail or you don't, do what you expect to do, or you don't, you ate way more than you thought you were going to eat for dinner, just be conscious of it. Don't beat yourself up, right? Let's fall in love with the process, okay? And then just do better the next day. Just be conscious of it, do better the next day. Be conscious of it, do better the next day. And before you know it, your portions are going to go down, and you're going to feel really full because your stomach's going to shrink because you're only eating a little bit for lunch and a little bit later. So by the time you get to dinner, your stomach's going to shrink, so you'll feel fuller from less food, right? And, in between, sometimes, another thing too, if I have like a really big workout day, like, and I eat at 1 and I eat at 5, and sometimes, I'm still like hungry in between, like I may get hungry in between, I eat these Quest bars. These are pretty good. They're made with stevia. So the flavors I think that are the best are, they have a s'mores, a chocolate chip cookie dough, and those are really the two that I think are the best. All the other ones are eh. This peanut butter one's okay. I've tried them all. Those other two are like a dessert. They're super good. So like in between, if I'm really hungry, I'll have one of this. And then water. You got to pound the water. I drink 3 of these a day. These are 3 liters each. So, and what I do is I always carry, so I always know where I'm at. So like I'll fill this up, and then I'll pound it, and then I know that I got 2 more, right? So this is my second one right now. So after I'm done with this, I know that I have 1 more, and I know that I fulfilled my water obligations for the day. So constantly drinking water makes you feel full, right? Plus you're flushing all the crap out through your kidneys. Well, that's it for supplements. Let's jump on back. All right, now welcome back. Let's go over exercise. If you don't exercise, I wouldn't worry about starting right now, right? You want to focus on getting the eating down first. Listen, 80% of this is what you put in your mouth. I would say about 15% of it is exercise, and the other 5% of it is supplements. I mean, this is my experience after all these transformations. Um, so, it's really, 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 really important. If you don't exercise, focus on getting the diet down first. Focus on getting the system down first. Once you've created good eating habits, like I talk about here and like I've done, um, and you don't work out. I've always worked out. I love working out. It makes me feel good. It decompresses my stress. So working out has never been a problem for me. It's always been the diet. So that should show you too that as much as I work out, I can still put weight on. So it's all about diet for me. Um, so you got to have good eating habits, like I talk about in here, and then you can start working out. Start slow with working out. I can't believe how many people go to the gym and like hit it so hard. You don't want to do that. You want to actually start slow, or whatever it is. If you're not going to the gym, if you're walking, or whatever it is that you're doing, you need to start slow. You need to create the habit of doing it, right? If you slam yourself the first day, guess what? You're not going to come back and do it again. And there goes the consistency that we talked about, right? There it goes out the window. So you've got to make it so that you are consistent. And the best way to do that, start slow. Don't kill yourself. I always, always, always recommend easing into exercise so you can feel good about exercising. You don't want to feel shitty, right? Remember, we need to love the process. If we love the process, we're going to hit our goal. It's going to happen. It's already happened if you love the process, right? So you want to keep going back to the gym. So you got to like it. You got to keep going back to exercising and working out. You got to like it. You have to enjoy doing it. If you don't, you're not going to go back and do it. Okay, so ease into it at first. The love for it will come because you're going to feel so good, you'll want to keep doing it. Okay, my workout consists of 30 minutes of cardio, and then I do 30 minutes of intense circuit weight training. And then in the evening, while I watch TV, I got a treadmill in front of the TV. My philosophy on this is if I can sit my fat ass on the couch, I can get my fat ass up and walk on the treadmill for 30, 45 minutes. It's not a big deal, right? Especially when you're watching a TV show, 45 minutes on a treadmill goes by so fast. I don't do it all the time because sometimes I'll have like webinars and I don't always watch TV. I have webinars in the evenings. So when I had to have those going on and I'm not watching TV, then I don't do it, right? So, so so for me, I only do about 3 or 4 times a week. Is the times I'm at home watching TV. So that's kind of how that works for me. Now, accountability. This is the X factor. This is really the thing that's going to help you get to where you need to go. As awesome as this information is, and I'm not charging you anything for it. I'm giving it to you for free. If you don't do anything with this information, nothing is going to happen. Nothing's going to happen, right? So how do you start that fire? How do you make shit happen? I've found that when I make myself accountable publicly with my business or with what I'm doing, right now with this weight loss, this 4th weight loss transformation I'm going through, if I do it either publicly or with other like-minded people, other people that are on the same path or journey as me, other people that want to achieve the same result, then I've always achieved my desired result, always, because they help me stay on track. I help them stay on track. We work together. We collaborate, okay? Therefore, what we want to do is, my sister and I are thinking about setting up an accountability group. We thought about doing this a while ago, but some personal stuff came up and we weren't able to do it. And we really want to do it this time for my own benefit and for your own benefit too, to help you get going, to help you stay on track with the stuff I've shared you here, or whatever diet program you decide to choose or use. Inside the accountability group, we're going to share some of her recipes, which are absolutely amazing. My sister's a phenomenal cook, and she's got amazing food hacks, like how to replace like certain things with stuff that's really nutritious to help the food taste awesome. It's almost like you don't realize that the stuff isn't in the food. She just replaces it. Like, it's amazing. Obviously, we'll share more hacks inside the group with you. And you're going to get advice from her. She's a certified personal trainer with the American Personal Trainer Association. I guess that's what they're called. She's a certified nutritionist, and she's also a certified Beachbody Insanity instructor. She actually teaches 2 insanity classes a day. If you've ever done insanity, imagine having to do it twice a day. So she's got like the right mindset. She also completed the Spartan race in San Diego, which was up on a mountain. It's a 12-mile race. I believe she has the fastest female time. So the girl is dedicated, and she can help you get dedicated. She's lost over 80 pounds 6 years ago. So what I love about my sister is she's not someone who's been thin her whole life and is telling you, oh, that you need to do this to lose weight. She's also struggled. She was very obese. She was 240 pounds as a woman. And so she's lost over 80 pounds. She's lost more than 80 pounds. She's lost over 80 pounds 6 years ago and has kept it off for 6 years. And she's also helped hundreds of people achieve their weight loss goals as a certified personal trainer. So the thing is, I'm not sure, like, I don't want to do this, and she doesn't want to do this if people aren't interested, right? So it doesn't make sense for us to waste our time, because I got a lot going on, and she's got a lot going on. And if you're not interested, that's cool, then we won't do it. If you are interested, I would love to know if you're interested. So just do me a huge favor and leave a comment in the section below and say, yeah, I'm interested in the accountability. Yes, I really want to do this. I really want to become healthy in 2016, 2017, 18, 19, 20, whatever year we're in. You know, and you really do want to like make things happen and get healthy. I'm going to tell you something. You already have the information. It's already out there. It's available to you for free. So why haven't you done it? It's accountability. I'm telling you, accountability is the hugest, biggest driving force out there. So if you're interested in our accountability group and want to be a part of it, just let me know in the comment section. If enough people show interest, we will definitely put it together for you. Okay? So that's all I got for you. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry if it went too long. I wasn't planning on it going this long, but I really did want to share as much with you as I possibly could so that you had everything that you needed and you could see what I'm doing. Really appreciate your attention. Yours for prosperity, Anthony Aries. Talk to you later.